Hi everyone, today I'm going to be introducing the beading and jewelry makeaway kit and a project to do with that. So we have our kit, we have some spacers that you'll need to go with your stretchy bracelet, some charms, some jump rings, some kind of closure, some miscellaneous types of beads that you'd like for your project. I found these laying around the Spark Space, as well as some stretchy cord. You can get this at any Michael's or Joann's. It's clear and translucent and is easy to use, and it's the correct size for my beads. Okay, so we're going to go over this. We have some wire cutters, primarily just used to cut wire. They're very sharp. Next we have a cord threader. This is for threading through small beads or pearls. Calipers that are used to measure bead size. We have a fine thread needle. So this is for using really fine thread or cording to mostly string pearls, but other small sized beads. It has a hook closure that allows you to pull the thread through the pearl or the bead. We have replacement needles for the thread, needle, and quarter, smaller or bigger bead sizes. We have a pair of flat pliers, or needle nose pliers. These are for opening up jump rings or bending other types of wire materials. Here's just a demonstration. It holds the jump ring in place, and then you use your thumb to twist it open. It also has a wire cutter on it as well. This is an awl. It's used for making holes in leather or other fabrics. Two types of tweezers, straight nose and a bent nose. The straight nose can be used to pick up beads or other materials. The bent nose are really more for picking up beads. They're easier to use and manipulate beads. Next we have your standard measuring tape. It can be used to measure the length of cord or circumference of your wrist or ankle. These are a pair of snippers. They're very, very sharp, used just to cut cord or thread, not used to cut wire. And then next we have our round nose pliers. These are used for wire primarily, to bend and shape your wire without leaving any marks. The straight nose have little grooves in it to help it hold on to things, but the round nose do not. So those are just used for wire basically. Okay, and that is the kit. Next is the book. This comes in the kit as well. We'll be doing a stretchy bracelet based off of this page in the book. It gives you a list of tools and supplies you'll need, as well as materials to make those, and we're just going to do something a little bit different. Tape, measure around your wrist, and if you have someone with you that can do that for you, it's a little bit more easier. My wrist is about 6.5 inches, but you're going to want to go about an extra 1.5 inches to 2 inches, so you'll have enough room to stretch and then tie your wire or cord. So you're just going to take your cord, measure it along about 8 inches, use your little snips to snip your cord. Then next, you just want to stretch your cord a little bit. Not too much, it might break, but just to give it some stretchability so it's ready to use for our next step. So the next step you're going to want to do is grab some masking tape or scotch tape, any kind of tape. You're just going to want to tear a small piece off, and you're going to place it on the end of your cord This is just going to keep the beads from falling off. You can fold it over to keep the sticky from touching you, but this is just to keep your beads from falling off as you're beading. Okay, then you're just going to want to go ahead and grab some beads. All different kinds, all different shapes and sizes, but all of them are big enough to fit on our cord. So we're just going to start with this shiny glass bead and just slide it onto your cord. You can make a pattern with your beads, you can not make a pattern, you can kind of pick and choose. I kind of follow a pattern of keeping 2 to 3 beads in between each key or charm, so that can be up to you. I've kind of also tried to include these really pretty pieces of jasper, which are these little gemstone ones next to this glass bead, and then doing one of these green glass with a little bit of gold shine on it in each pattern before I put a key charm on. So it's nice and faceted and shiny. So then I'm going to take one of these key charms. They're about, half an inch, and you can see that it has a little hole at the top. And if you string it on without putting a jump ring on it, which is what those little silver rings are called, I mean, it's nice, but it can only face in one direction. And so I have decided I'm going to put a little jump ring on here, which is this little silver ring. Trying to get it in focus. The silver ring will go on through the top. So you'll just grab your jump ring, those flat nose pliers, straight pliers. Trying to get it in focus. So you'll just push with your thumb, pull up with the pliers, and that will open your ring. No need to pull them apart, which is what you really like to do normally, or what you might have done in the past. That will bend out your ring and make it so it doesn't close together, which is what you want because you're going to be cording it onto the string and you don't want it to fall off. So there it is with the ring closed, just like that. Then you'll just take it and you will thread it onto your cord, slide it all the way down. Alright, and then you've got your first part of your stretchy bracelet. So you'll just repeat what you've been doing before. I'm going to speed the video up just so it doesn't take a bunch of time for you to watch me beading and cording. But yeah, you just keep repeating this same glass bead, earth bead, teal with the shiny gold, and adding your charms in between. Okay, so then it's time to add your next charm. You're going to grab another jump ring. I can get it to focus. Looks like that one it's closed. Again, you'll just push down with your thumb. It will open. You will add your charm. Then you'll just pull it closed. And you'll have the closed jump ring. And as you can see here, it was open a little bit, so I just adjusted it to make sure it's fully closed so it didn't fall off our cord. That's what I'm showing you here. Completely closed, attached. Then you'll just add that to your bracelet. And then you'll just repeat your beading again. Okay, so now that you have all of your keys on your bracelet, you want to leave a few inches at the end in order for you to be able to tie it, but I'm going to go ahead and just put one more set of beads on here. Alright, so you have beads at the beginning, beads at the end. Alright, and then these are two larger beads that you can use to cover your knot that you're going to make at the end. I chose a slightly smaller, rounder bead with a little bit less intricate design on it. So what you're going to do is pick up your bracelet, holding onto the end really tight, both ends. You're going to pull the tape off, and then you can see that you have both ends together with about an inch and a quarter of free space. You're going to tie a square knot, so just like you would tie for, a knot you would tie in a shoe. So you're just going to go left over right, and then right over left, and then it will make a square knot. This is the kind of knot you use to tie two pieces of string together. Here are some instructions if you'd like to pause here and go over it. So we have it lined up. We're going to go right over left and then pull it together so you have just this first part of the knot like you would when you're tying a shoe. And then you're going to do it again. You want to make sure you pull it tight so that the bracelet isn't too loose. You're going to do left over right. Well, it's a little bit complicated to show here in the video, but like that, and it will make a knot. You'll want to pull it kind of tight. This cording is very slippery, so it doesn't want to stay in place. So you might have to put some glue or fingernail polish over the knot just to get it to stay tight, because it tends to slip on itself. And then I went ahead and tied a third knot in it, or second knot, a third right over left, just to try and get it to stay even more. So it ended up with a really big knot, which I'm showing you right here. Just stretching it and pulling it to try and get it tight. So yeah, kind of a big knot. And I'm just going to put some glue on that. As you see, as I pull it, it's kind of trying to come undone. So I pull it tight, and then I put a little bit of clear tacky glue on top. And if you put glue on it, give it a couple of hours to sit. I used some pliers to pull it really tight. And then I just snipped off the edges, and I pushed it inside of this big silver bead so that it's hidden. And that's the bracelet. It looks cute and very easy to do, a basic beading jewelry. Here's it just laid out so you can see all the keys. You slip it on your wrist. Mine was a little tight, so yeah, and it just dangles and is a lot of fun. And that's it. And if you enjoyed this, you can get this whole makeaway kit and check it out at the library. The jewelry making and beading, it teaches you all kinds of fun stuff. And the beads and findings, the little charms I got just came from Michael's, so along with the stretch cord. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a great weekend.